Banana!
Yes, those amazingly annoying and annoyingly amazing little yellow pill dudes are back. And this time, they finally teamed up with Gru. Yes, Steve Carell is back. And he's younger. And he has hair. Minions: The Rise of Gru. A sequel to the prequel to Despicable Me. And as an adult, I found it to be meh. But as a kids program, I thought it was fairly decent. It had okay humor as far as kid humor goes. There was one part that I actually found humorous. Mostly it was physical humor. And overall, it was a decent follow-up to a half-decent sequel. Not sequel, prequel, excuse me. And if you were to watch all the movies in order, starting with Minions and ending with Despicable Me 3, it flows pretty consistently. Visually, the movie is amazing. The detail they put into all the various settings is to die for. The Minions, young Gru, several younger versions of the characters we all know, and several new characters that show up, are all depicted very well, consistently. And the music is a nice time capsule of the era. This is set like decades before today, and they take advantage of that music-wise. We don't get to hear the Despicable Me theme song, unfortunately, but we do get to hear some classic rock, and it sets the tone very well. Our main three, technically four, Minion dudes are very well balanced in their personalities. Bob, Kevin, the third one, and a new guy, Otto. And honestly, everybody did a great job overall. The story itself is basically how Gru became a supervillain, meeting up with past villains to try and get into their inner circle. We see how Gru gets some of his stuff. We get to see a bit of his family life. And we get to see the dynamic of the villains that Gru looks up to. And yeah, they're typical villains. Basically, they're looking for a magic MacGuffin, and it's sort of necessary to forward the plot, but it could be just any old treasure thing. And the real story is the dynamic Gru, the rapport Gru develops with a person he sees as a mentor figure, and how the mentor figure starts to grow and adapt to the new times after, well, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say stuff happens. Basically, Rise of Gru is a good follow-up to Minions, but compared to the Despicable Me trilogy, it's less of a family film and more of a kids film. The DM trilogy was definitely a family trilogy. But for the sake of completion and some decent laughs, I would not avoid this one. I'd check it out at least once if I were you. This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you Casa mi gru es moto banana.